Hello, welcome to today's Read Aloud, Think Aloud. I'm Mrs. Bluebird and today's story is called, is this the front cover? No, it's the back cover. Let's go to the front. Here it is, Henry's Awful Mistake. I can't really start from this end, can I? If I start here, no, that's not it. We'll start here. It's written by Robert Quackenbush. I love his name, Quackenbush. So cool. Henry's Awful Mistake. The day Henry the Duck asked his friend Clara over for supper, he found an ant in the kitchen. There he is, or her. Henry was worried that Clara would see the ant. She might think his house was not clean. The ant had to go. Oh, I see some ant spray. And here's the ant. Henry reached for a can of ant spray, but he didn't want to spray near the food he was cooking. So he chased the ant with a frying pan. Is this a good plan? What do you think? Is it a good plan? Yes? No? Maybe so? What do you think? Okay, let's see. Because you know, every story has like this big problem that has to get solved. And then it all sorts itself out. So maybe this is how he sorts out the problem and it's the end of the story. Henry ran around the kitchen chasing after the ant, but the ant got away and hid behind the stove. Clever. Henry took the food he was cooking off the stove. Then he shut off the flame and pulled the stove away from the wall. He saw the ant. There it is. The ant saw Henry, so they're looking at each other. I see you. The ant saw Henry and ran into a small crack in the wall. Henry went and got a hammer. Oh, next level. We've had the frying pan. Now it's the hammer. Is that a good idea? What do you think? Let's see. Henry pounded a big hole in the wall where the crack was. Now, Robert Quackenbush, the author here, there he is, he said that Henry pounded. That means he didn't tap, tap, tap. He pounded a big hole. So he chose that word so we knew exactly what was going on. But Henry couldn't find the ant. So he kept on pounding. Oh my goodness, you can imagine the noise, can't you? The hole got bigger and bigger. At last, Henry saw the ant sitting on the pipe inside the wall. Look at all the bits of wall on the ground. I think that looks like cheese. Don't you reckon? Or what do you think it looks like? Oh yeah? Henry aimed the hammer. He aimed the hammer at the ant and missed. The blow of the hammer broke the pipe. Look at Henry's face now. His eye, well, both of his eyes probably, are wide open. Can you make a face like that? You make a plan, it doesn't go to plan, and then you get a big surprise. Water came shooting out of the pipe. Henry couldn't stop it. Whoa. Henry grabbed a towel. Whew. He tied it around the pipe and the water stopped shooting out. I think that's the first time he's had a good idea so far. But Henry hadn't stopped the water soon enough. It had sprayed all over the kitchen. Everything was soaking wet, except for Clara's supper. Thank goodness. Phew. That towel, it looks like a bow on the pipe. It looks like a present. Wouldn't that be weird if somebody gave you a pipe for a present? Henry began mopping up the puddles of water. All at once he slipped and banged against the kitchen table. Everything came crashing down. Henry was covered with pots and pans and food. Oh dear. The supper was ruined. There was nothing Henry could do now but to call Clara and tell her not to come. Don't come, Clara. While Henry was talking on the telephone, the towel came loose from the pipe. The water came shooting out and flooded the whole house. Henry was carried right out the front door by the flood. You look at this. Oh, who can you see down here on the box? Oh, the ant. There was no going back. Poor Henry's house was washed away by the flood. He saved what he could and moved into a new house. When Henry was settled in his new house, he again asked Clara over for supper. Just as he went to the door to let Clara in, he saw an ant. Oh. So what do you think? Will he get the ant spray this time? Instead of all the frying pan and hammers and... What do you think? He looked the other way. No, I think this ant has a smile on his face. I think he's a bit cheeky. That's the end. Thanks for reading with me about Henry's awful mistake. See ya.